The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy. Great achievements are born from small, intentional choices. It doesn't matter where you stand in life right now, whether your journey seems to be climbing upward or slowly drifting down. This book is meant to guide you just a few steps ahead of where you currently are. If you're already moving forward, the compound effect will help you keep that momentum alive and accelerate it. And if your days feel like a steady decline, its principles will lift you back up without any drastic changes, quietly rescuing your life and opening the door to powerful, positive turns ahead. There is no need for grand decisions. Every choice, no matter how small, should align toward one common goal. If you believe success is reserved for a select few, that some are simply born lucky while others are left guessing their secrets, then you are mistaken. Those successful people you admire have only shared their moments of triumph with the world. What you haven't seen are the long, difficult hours of persistence and struggle that built those shining peaks from the ground up. What is the compound effect? Today, the world is flooded with radiant advertisements about the success of individuals and organizations. If those stories ever make you believe that these people have achieved greatness overnight, it simply means you don't yet understand the compound effect. The compound effect isn't just about becoming wealthy. If you wish to lose weight, build a deeper love, raise better children, stay healthy, or transform any part of your personal life, this principle is the single road you must take. In this method, which I consider the master key to my own success, consistency is everything. Time plays a silent yet crucial role because every small act you perform today, whether constructive or destructive, shapes the magnitude of your future results. Many struggle to stay consistent. I always tell them, never stop working hard. My father taught me that intelligence isn't what defines success. Persistence does. Work until your effort compensates for lack of experience, skill, talent, or brilliance. It's natural to begin without mastery, while others may already excel ahead of you. Yet if you genuinely want to succeed, what other way exists than working harder to bridge that gap? At 18, I earned a six-figure income. At 20, I owned a home in the finest part of my city. At 24, I surpassed $1 million in earnings. And by 27, I was a self-made millionaire. Believe me, no principle has influenced my life more than the compound effect. You must build discipline and the mindset of accountability, and you must never forget continuity. Society deceives us with the illusion of shortcuts and instant rewards. But if your desire is genuine success, if you want to reach every goal burning inside you, you must decide now to let go of short-term comfort. The compound effect is the principle of reaping grand rewards through a series of small, intelligent choices. In every path, change, whether positive or negative, is almost invisible at first. Subtle shifts lead to small, steady outcomes. They may appear insignificant, yet consistency over time will unveil astonishing results. Let's bring it closer with an example. Imagine choosing between $3 million in cash and a single penny that doubles in value every day for 1 month. If you truly understand the compound effect, you'll know the penny is the wiser choice. Still, turning down $3 million for a simple coin seems impossible. Assume you take the $3 million and your friend picks the penny. 5 days later, you still hold your wealth while your friend owns only 16 cents. By day 10, perhaps you've already spent a part of yours. The penny is worth just $5.12. But let the doubling continue. By day 31, your friend's small coin has grown into $10,737,418.24 more. Then triple what you took at first. This wealth came from trusting the slow power of compound growth. Here's another story. 3 childhood friends, Larry, Scott, and Brad, live in the same neighborhood. All are married, all earn about $50,000 a year. Larry keeps doing exactly what he's always done. He feels fine most days, though he quietly complains that nothing ever really changes. Scott has begun small improvements in his daily life. He reads 10 pages each day, works out, listens to uplifting audio, and reduces his food intake by 125 calories. That could mean skipping soda, eating 1 less slice of bread, or switching to a lighter sauce. Brad just bought a large new television, wants to enjoy his favorite shows, and fills a side table with drinks and desserts. He believes happiness is simply pleasure. After 5 months, all 3 look about the same. 5 months is too soon for visible change. By month 25, small differences emerge. Still, patience is needed. By month 31, everything becomes clear. Scott has spent 1,000 hours learning and grown stronger both physically and mentally. He's lost 15 kilograms by cutting those 125 daily calories. Brad, swayed by comforts, watches useless shows, falls behind at work, drinks more, gains weight, and drifts away from his family. Larry remains unchanged, slightly bored, slightly irritable. If these contrasting results seem exaggerated, it's because you haven't yet seen the ripple effect. Think of Brad again. If watching TV led to his weight gain, here's what really happened. He bakes muffins he learned from a cooking show, feels proud, and his family enjoys them. Encouraged, he keeps baking new sweets, eating slightly more sugar, too little for anyone to notice. But sugar alters his sleep. Poor sleep makes him irritable. His work performance drops. His boss grows dissatisfied. Brad comes home frustrated, turns to fast food, grows distant from his wife and children, feels unattractive after gaining weight, and slowly starts criticizing himself and others. That entire chain reaction is what I call the ripple effect. Brad couldn't have learned self-development or purpose from celebrity chefs or crime show detectives. His lack of success was never a matter of luck. It was simply the result of his own choices. Take control of your life. Whenever we speak of work, effort, and perseverance, the image that appears in most minds is one of hardship and struggle. And that, too, is one of society's illusions. Work and effort, when built upon the foundation of the compound effect, are never exhausting or unbearable because a great achievement is divided into many small tasks, each completed in its own time. The compound effect is predictable and measurable. Isn't it encouraging to know that by taking a series of small steps, consistently and patiently, you can transform your life in a fundamental way? The most challenging aspect of the compound effect is this. Before seeing results, you must endure a period of steady, continuous effort. Most people today have forgotten the value of hard work. Many either inherit wealth or seek less work for more pay to preserve appearance and status. Abundance without effort breeds complacency and, inevitably, stagnation, but nothing stays that way forever. The truth is that health, happiness, success, and wealth all follow the same rule. They are built by the compound effect. Lose your consistency, and you will lose what you once gained. We've all known that local restaurant that started strong. Excellent service, kindness, care for ambiance, and soon became a well-loved place. But as enthusiasm faded and attention waned, customers noticed the difference. This isn't the same place anymore. Success eventually led to its failure. The business collapsed because it stopped doing the very things that made it successful. Everything depends on our own behaviors. And if you still believe luck defines outcomes, here's a reminder. In any lottery, the odds of winning approach zero. So give up the idea of instant luck and miracle success. The path to achievement is paved with ordinary tasks, repeated consistently, requiring discipline for a long time. It's natural if you think you're not built to withstand such routines, yet successful people have made the decision to push through them. They give up sleep, comfort, and leisure, and choose effort. It's always a choice. At birth, we were all the same, naked, scared, and unaware. But from the moment we began to know ourselves and the world, everything has been shaped by our choices. Each choice can move you toward your goals or pull you miles away. Every choice may become the seed of a habit. And if you make no choice at all, you become passive, a receiver instead of a creator. The essence of good decision-making lies in awareness. Since both large and small choices shape the compound effect, all your decisions must be conscious. Ask yourself, what am I doing today that I haven't consciously chosen, yet it consumes my time and energy every day? Our problem isn't making bad choices. It's ignoring how every decision connects to the compound effect. You've never heard of someone being bitten by an elephant, but ants? Yes, small things bite. Let this remind you that tiny, unnoticed choices can indeed hurt you. Lose yourself in routine, and you stop seeing how your small daily acts shape your destiny. Maybe you eat chips when you're not hungry, drink soda though not thirsty, waste hours watching meaningless shows, lie to a loved one for no reason at all. Why? Because you allowed yourself to act without thought, without purpose. Unawareness extends beyond ourselves. It touches our relationships too. Being conscious of the behavior of family and friends helps build deliberate connection, not blind companionship. If asked how much responsibility you bear in your marriage, what would you say? Half? Perhaps 80-20 for sacrifice? 51% for effort? The correct answer is 100-0. You must be willing to give your full 100%. And this ratio applies not only to marriage, it applies to life itself. When you accept full responsibility, you take control. You recognize that you alone are accountable for what you do, what you don't do, and how you respond. That awareness gives you the power to truly control your life. If you still struggle to grasp the power of choice and the compound effect, you might secretly believe you are lucky or unlucky. But luck is born from right choices. Everyone has the chance to become lucky. 1. Readiness. Build yourself. Through learning, skill building, and growth, you prepare to make the most of every opportunity. Arnold Palmer said, the more I practice, the luckier I get. 2. Attitude. Your mindset determines your reality. You attract conditions that reflect what you constantly think and believe. You will never find what you do not seek, nor seek what you do not believe in. 3. Opportunity. Sometimes chance arises naturally. the unplanned openings of life. You can also create opportunity through preparation and awareness, aligning yourself for growth when these moments appear. 4. Action. When luck or opportunity arrives, act, and act rightly. Only through wise, decisive action can you harvest the benefits of what life offers. Remember, countless others face greater obstacles and yet live happier, more accomplished lives. Because luck, in truth, is evenly distributed. It is how you choose, prepare, and act that makes it yours. Say why, then start recording. Whenever someone tells you to save a fixed amount each month, to walk at certain hours every day, or follow any such routine advice, you can be sure of one thing: you'll never do it, unless that suggestion is connected to a clear goal. If your goal is to buy something valuable by year's end, you'll accept the discipline of saving money every month. If you want a fit and healthy body, you'll gladly walk half an hour a day. Jim Rohn once said, "What's easy to do is also easy not to do. When you have a goal and a reason, doing what supports that goal feels simple." So ask yourself, why do I do what I do? And why don't I do the things I should? The best next step is to keep a journal. Record your actions. You'll soon see whether your daily behavior moves you closer to what you want or pulls you away. Writing down numbers, decisions, and habits strengthens your sense of accountability. All successful people are relentless trackers. Tracking means observation, analysis, and reflection. You cannot manage or improve what you haven't measured. If you want to get more from your potential, start documenting what you do right now. This process must be complete, organized, and without interruption. If you want to begin easily, start small. Track a single habit for 1 week. Focus only on that habit and write down everything related to it. After about 3 weeks of steady journaling, you will see how awareness rises. Your unconscious reactions become conscious decisions. If you used to walk into a store and buy ice cream automatically, now you'll pause and ask, do I really want it? Why? If you buy coffee every morning on your way to work, yet complain that your paycheck isn't high enough to start a retirement plan, simply record the daily cost of that coffee. At month's end, you'll realize that removing that minor expense could create major long-term gains through the compound effect. If you often wander through shops and feel tempted by unnecessary purchases, remember this: a 50% item today equals $250 20 years from now through compounding value. Before buying, ask yourself whether that item is worth $250 of your future wealth. Each time you resist such a purchase, write it down. Those notes capture moments when you correct your small mistakes, and those tiny corrections produce astonishing results over time. The ripple effect of new behaviors reveals its power slowly but unmistakably. Think of races: running, horseback, cycling. The difference between the first and second place is often a fraction of a second, yet that fraction represents double or triple effort. Time is always the decisive element. Consider this familiar example. Who ends up better off? The person who begins contributing to a retirement fund with their first income, or the one who waits until 40? The answer is clear. But don't let this turn into an excuse to say it's too late. If that thought holds you back, remember, starting now means that 20 years from today, you'll thank yourself for taking the first step. All it requires is strong motivation and a solid why. We all played a childhood game. Something was hidden, and as we got closer, we were encouraged. Maybe the music grew louder, the excitement stronger. That simple game reveals the incredible power of purpose. Every one of us needs to know how close or far our choices and actions are leading us toward the goal. We get used to things. Losing is a habit. Winning is a habit too. Habits are trees with deep and stubborn roots. The older they grow, the more tightly they grip our being. Aristotle said, "We are what we constantly do." A habit is simply a behavior that occurs partly or entirely on autopilot. There's a story of a man riding fast on a horse. Someone asks him, "Where are you headed?" The man replies, "I don't know. Ask the horse." That's the story of most people. Those who have surrendered the reins of their lives to routine. That horses are habits. We're born with none. Step by step, we grow into our habits, allowing them to guide our days while we expend little awareness or energy. Yet most habitual actions provide short bursts of comfort and pleasure, temporary and deceptive. This quick satisfaction stops us from considering the compound effect of those habits. It's easy to think willpower alone can topple them, but true change starts from your why. When you know exactly why you're doing something, habits lose their power to dominate you. Ask yourself why you act and why you avoid certain acts. Discovering your true motive works like a filter, blocking everything that doesn't align with who you want to become. That filter prevents contradiction. If honesty is one of your core values, associating with liars simply won't pass through it, force it, and the inner conflict will exhaust you. The clearer your motives and values, the easier every decision becomes, and the higher your effectiveness. To find that central motive, notice what you love and what you hate. Love of health creates drive for exercise. Hatred of injustice fuels fairness. Don't worry if your motive feels too small or too ordinary. Anything deeply meaningful to you is powerful enough. If your why burns brightly, nothing can stop you. Goal setting uncovers hidden codes in the mind. The brain naturally scans its surroundings for things that match what it contains inside. When your inner world is positive, you'll detect positive signals. When it's negative, the opposite appears. Remember how, after deciding to buy a new car, you suddenly see that model everywhere? Those cars have always existed, but only now has your mind in order to notice them. Setting goals also means preparing to become someone else, to evolve into the person your goals require. Imagine a man writing a long list of qualities he wants in his future wife. His next step isn't to search for her, it's to create a second list, the qualities of a man that such a woman would love. Our task is to grow into the version of ourselves that belongs to our goals. Usually, the real obstacle between you and what you want is your behavior. To move forward, you must learn both how to act and how to stop acting wrongly. Habits never lie. People believe what they see you do, not what you claim. If you say you want health but eat junk daily, no one believes you. If you say you're disciplined but always arrive late and disorganized, even you won't believe it. Take a notebook, write down 3 of your goals. Then list the bad habits that hold you back. No mercy, write them all. Don't let the list discourage you. It marks not failure, but the beginning of change. 5 strategies to eliminate bad habits and 6 to build good ones. The first step toward breaking any habit is awareness. Ask yourself what triggers the behavior, who, when, where, and under what emotion. Maybe you smoke only in certain situations, or maybe you lie more easily around certain people. Once you uncover your triggers, you begin to dismantle the invisible machinery that powers the habit. Next, cleanse your environment. Your home includes every place you spend time: office, car, social spots. If you want to quit drinking soda, remove every can, bottle, and even the opener from sight. The smallest cue can reignite a routine. Third, replace rather than resist. Substitution is the gentlest path to freedom. A healthy replacement rewires the same loop without deprivation. Like my niece who realized she didn't crave chips but the crunch, she swapped them for lettuce and cabbage leaves and never looked back. Fourth, go slow. Drop habits gradually, giving your system time to adjust. Think of stepping into an icy pool. Start with your toes, then slowly immerse until balance returns. Finally, jump in. Some people thrive on decisive, all-at-once transformation. For professional and work-related habits, bold leaps often succeed. For deeply personal ones, gentler approaches work better. Ask yourself, where can you quit suddenly, and where must you transition over time? The key is continual review. Don't expect to uproot everything overnight. Observe, prioritize, and act. As management expert John Maxwell said, you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. Now, to build better habits, approach it with these 6 strategies. First, set yourself up for success. Every new habit must fit your real life, not an idealized version. Don't join a gym across town if you won't travel there. Choose goals that respect your present energy and resources. Sustainable habits are realistic ones. Second, focus on addition, not subtraction. Lasting success comes not from restriction, but from abundance. Instead of thinking I shouldn't smoke, think I'll add nourishing foods and better ways to relax. Fill your days with worthwhile additions, not empty removals. Third, build accountability. Promises made in silence fade quickly. Shared intentions stay alive. Tell your goal to friends or family who care enough to hold you responsible. When others know, breaking your promises becomes harder and integrity easier. Fourth, find a partner in success. A supportive ally doubles your chance to persevere. Track each other's progress, encourage each other's consistency, and build mutual trust around the new behaviors. Fifth, use friendly competition. If motivation runs low, turn your goals into a game. Organize walking challenges, study streaks, or digital detox races with friends. Shared competition feeds momentum, and every small victory lifts the group higher. Sixth, celebrate progress. Reward yourself along the way. Don't wait for the finish line. Detours, milestones, even halfway marks deserve recognition. These rewards reinforce the neural patterns that make good habits stick. Science shows that repeated behaviors carve grooves, mental imprints, in your brain. Neurons connect, forming circuits that replicate thoughts and actions until they feel automatic. Attention fuels those circuits. What you focus on grows stronger. By shifting your attention away from harmful habits and toward constructive ones, those old neural grooves begin to fade while new ones deepen. This is how transformation happens. Not by fighting who you are now, but by training your focus toward who you are becoming. The power of momentum. Remember your high school physics lessons. Newton's first law, also known as the law of inertia, states that objects at rest tend to remain at rest unless acted upon by an external force. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless something resists them. That simple idea explains why the first step in any endeavor is always the hardest. Once you begin, your movement naturally continues unless a strong obstacle cuts you off. That's why successful people keep getting more successful. They already have momentum. Picture a carousel. Starting it is slow and energy intensive. But once it's spinning, it keeps turning effortlessly on its own. When it eventually slows, restarting it requires only half the energy the first time. That's the invisible help of momentum. Adjusting to any change follows the same physics. It demands huge energy at first, but once the new behavior becomes a habit, momentum makes it easier and easier. The same principle fuels rocket launches. A space shuttle burns most of its fuel in the first minutes to overcome Earth's gravity. Afterward, it can circle in orbit almost fuel-free. The hardest part is breaking free from the ground, not moving through space. Momentum works in both directions toward success or failure. Since the compound effect is always in play, neglected bad habits acquire their own momentum too. The longer you postpone action, the heavier laziness grows. Sit longer in front of the TV, and standing up feels harder with every passing minute. To experience positive momentum, you must first create the right foundation through consistent choices and actions. 1. Make new choices based on your core goals and values. 2. Act on those choices through positive behaviors. 3. Repeat those positive actions until they become habits. 4. Develop routines and rhythms that bring order and stability to your life. 5. Stay consistent long enough for momentum to build. We've discussed all these steps, except the fourth one, routines and rhythm. Your routine is your operating system. It's what you perform daily without conscious effort. Brushing your teeth before bed, fastening your seatbelt when driving. Routines lower stress and make actions more efficient. Military training illustrates this perfectly. Soldiers are conditioned to respond almost automatically in risky situations, relying on embedded routines rather than panic. All successful people, from athletes to entrepreneurs to artists, follow clear routines that govern their days. It's the simplest way to give life structure and rhythm, and one of the most practical methods for building routine is planning. If full-day scheduling feels overwhelming, start small. Control merely the beginning and end of your day. Design your morning routine, wake-up time, stretching or exercise, breakfast, phone check policy. Do the same for your night routine, how you wind down before sleep. Regardless of what chaos fills the day, maintaining these anchor routines steadies your stress and safeguards focus. Once your days follow a routine, your weeks, months, and years adopt a rhythmic flow. Find your rhythm, and momentum will join in. Just watch that life doesn't slip into an undesired rhythm. Stay intentional. Occasionally inject pleasant surprises to avoid burnout, but keep consistent behaviors that lead you toward your goals. Why all this emphasis on consistency? Because if you stop doing something, even for only 2 weeks, you'll see how its accumulated positive effects fade away rapidly. That is how momentum dies. So protect your momentum. Choose wisely, act consistently, build positive habits, and keep moving through steady rhythms. It's far easier to preserve your forward motion than to let it decay and try to rebuild it later. You are not alone because you are influenced by others. 1. Inputs. Managing the nonstop stream of information your mind consumes daily is one of the hardest challenges of modern life. Mental input is messy and chaotic. Without control, clutter is inevitable. If your thoughts constantly wander toward trivial or irrelevant matters, it's time to start filtering what enters your mind. You don't have the right to consume every piece of content around you. Doing so damages your brain, lowers productivity, weakens focus, and eventually breeds anxiety. Picture your mind as a glass. The glass itself contains nothing. It only holds what you pour inside. To drink safely, you must fill it with clean, fresh water, not dirty liquid. In today's world, your glass stays pure only if you isolate yourself completely, perhaps by moving to a deserted island. Otherwise, relentless waves of billboards, news shows, social media feeds, and casual conversations muddy your mental content. Therefore, design mental diets. Limit which media you follow, what conversations you join, and what subjects you let shape your thoughts. 2. Relationships. You grow to resemble the people you spend time with. The group you habitually cooperate or socialize with is your reference group, and it can single-handedly redirect your entire life. Ask yourself 2 simple questions. With whom do I spend most of my time? Whom do I admire the most? If those answers match, you're on solid ground. But if you admire productive, successful people, yet mostly associate with lazy ones, you've built a dangerous contradiction. We often underestimate how strongly we mirror our reference group. Take a moment now, write down the names of 5 people you spend the most time with, and list their defining traits. Then look carefully. Does this list represent who you want to become? Evaluate everyone around you and divide them into 3 categories. 1. Those to cut off, when you cannot protect yourself from a person's destructive influence. Accept that staying connected is no longer beneficial, no matter how painful the separation feels. 2. Those to limit. Walking with someone changes your speed. Some companions are perfect in specific settings, but not in others. You might enjoy 3 days with some, 3 hours with others, and only 3 minutes with a few. Audit your time. Don't invest 3 hours in a 3-minute person. 3. Those to expand. Identify individuals who energize, inspire, and enrich you. Spend more time with them. Strengthen those bonds that nourish your growth. If categorizing proves difficult, face yourself first. Invite a trusted friend, someone honest, to describe how they see you. Their perspective may widen yours and reveal patterns you've missed. 3. Environment. Environments can influence you as powerfully as people do. You need to operate within settings that support your goals and ambitions. If such a space doesn't exist, create it. Sometimes the environment you inhabit is simply too small for your desired growth. Planting a sapling in a miniature pot restricts its roots and limits its future. Living in a confined or stagnant environment trains you to forget your larger dreams. If you keep accepting low pay for high effort, your life pattern will never change. The compound effect guarantees gradual excellence, but multiplying your success several times over depends on you. That stage requires creativity and personally tailored routines. No universal formula applies. Ultimately, you choose the level of achievement you sustain and how far you continue to progress. Final words. Nothing is accidental, neither failure nor success. Everything is quietly, continuously in motion, reshaping itself, often without your awareness. Everything truly means everything, including your own life. When you embrace the compound effect, not even a single moment passes without weighing your choices carefully. You'll make conscious decisions about going out, meeting friends, eating, resting, every small detail. This isn't mechanical living, rather, it saves you from becoming a puppet moved by the strings of circumstance and other people's choices. Even if you spend a whole week in idleness, you'll feel no guilt or anxiety afterward, because you'll know you chose that pause deliberately. Criticism will not disturb your peace, since your action or inaction came from awareness, not impulse. By now, you've seen that the compound effect is both simple and magical. It guides you through ordinary steps toward extraordinary results. If you live according to its principles, you're not just building steady progress, you're preparing to leap from average achievement to remarkable success. That leap begins at the moment of honesty, when you face yourself and ask, is this the best I can do? Then move forward, first to meet your own expectations, then to exceed them, and finally to surpass everyone else's. Even in small, everyday tasks, always go beyond what's expected. Remember, if everyone lives by the compound effect and finishes second, your mission is to strive for first. Practical suggestion. Write down the habits you wish to break. Identify the triggers behind each one, the situations, times, people, or emotions that spark them. After finding those triggers, consciously avoid behaviors that reinforce them. Ask yourself where you failed to take full responsibility in life. Why did that happen? Make a pact with yourself. For 1 or 2 weeks, accept 100% responsibility for everything you do and say. And if you still don't know you're big, why start searching for it now? What matters most to you? What is your core motivation, the driving purpose behind your personal and professional life? Once you define that why, every choice will align with it, and the quiet, steady power of the compound effect will turn into your unstoppable current toward mastery and fulfillment.